What is going on, people, and welcome back to another episode of the Hook It podcast. Once again, this episode is proudly supported by 35bikes.com. 35 Bikes are dedicated to providing you with the best quality bike components at the best prices. With winter now starting to rear its ugly, wet, cold, miserable face, it's about time you made sure that your bike is winter prepped. Over on 35bikes.com, you will see they just dropped a brand new and improved range of mudguards. Available in 4 new designs, 3 sizes, and made right here in not-so-sunny Sheffield. There's also a deep range of brake pads to cover all brake calipers, starting at just $6.99. And don't forget, all podcast listeners can get 20% off the entire 35bikes.com website, and you'll also get free shipping just by entering the promo code podcast at checkout. Or just walk into your local bike shop and ask for 35 Bikes products. So now I've told you how to get your bike winter prepped. What about your underwear drawer? It's getting cold out there, so for me, it's about time to break out the Sax Black Sheep range. The Black Sheep Boxer is thermoregulating, and in layman terms, that means it keeps you cold when it's warm and warm when it's cold. They also feature the patented ballpark pouch, which recently was described by a friend of mine as like a loving, gentle hug from your mother, but for your nutsack, which is pretty fair. They are also anti-odor, which means you can wear them for, insert time here. You can also win yourself a set of sacks by leaving a review of this podcast over on iTunes. And to find out if you've won some, we're going to hear from Odub first, then Zeb, and we'll announce our first competition winner. Let's get it.
Welcome to the Hook It podcast, endorsed by @odub_23. Add me, tag me, follow me, please follow me.
Very calm. Give me all your money. Try to count to 10. Little doesn't know it's about to begin. Push it too far, you're the killing machine.
What is up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of the Hook It podcast. I'm not sure if you have also noticed, but each time I hear that track, it gets better. It's called Mother Stickers, and it's by Zeb, available on iTunes and Spotify. And you can also follow him over on Instagram. It's @Zeb_co. And it looks like some cool things are starting to happen with his career as well. So for sure, drop Zeb a quick follow and let him know you're enjoying his music. I think it'd go a hell of a long way. Speaking of things getting better with age, 60 episodes. 60 episodes. Each time we meet one of these sort of like landmark numbers, it makes me trip out. So if you're a new listener and you're only just joining us at episode 60, then welcome to the podcast. And if you've been around for a little while, then a huge thank you for your continued support as well. You know, hitting 60 episodes has made me feel really grateful. I'm grateful to everybody out there in podcast land for listening, for engaging with this crazy podcast project. I'm grateful for all the rad guests we've had over the last couple of years and the new friends that I've made on this platform as well. In some ways, I'm also grateful for all the negative comments because it's made me improve, hopefully, and to keep pushing forward with this whole thing. So 60 episodes, and it's all down to you guys. If it weren't for you guys listening and engaging and whatever, then it wouldn't be happening because I'd be sat here talking to myself, which would suck because nobody would want to be a guest. So it's the People's Podcast. Huge pat on the back to you guys for listening and engaging, and thank you so much. It means a hell of a lot. What else is going on? Sax competition. As you know, in the last episode, we gave you a new way to win Sax underwear. All you have to do is go to iTunes and leave a review. You will automatically then go into a draw, and we'll pull someone out at random, and we will give you some Sax goodies and some other stuff as well from 35 Bikes. This week's winner is Scotty WM87 on iTunes. He left some real nice feedback about the Shop Talk episode, which, as some of you might know, I was a little nervous about putting that out and doing it, just because it was like an entirely different sort of thing. I wasn't too sure what the industry would make of it, but sometimes you just got to take a chance and go with your gut. And it worked out okay. There was some real nice feedback, and it sounds like people enjoyed listening and getting a bit of an insight into the independent bike shop and bike industry sort of world. So yeah, there you go. Well done, Scotty. WM87, reach out and we'll get some sack stuff on the way to you somehow. In other news, Guest of the Year competition returns in December. Keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll be launching it at some point. There's going to be a nice stack of prizes for you guys to win just before Christmas, and all you have to do is vote for your favourite guest of 2018. It's also Petey's Bike Bonanza this coming weekend, so if you head into that, it's in Rotherham on Sunday. So make sure if you are coming over to stop by the Hook It stand and come and say hello. It'd be good to meet some of you podcasters out there in person, so do that. Right, on today's episode, we are joined by none other than Olly Wilkins to talk about Rampage and a bunch of other stuff. This was a bit of a random episode, but the way I like to do it is just to sit down, no real plan, just riff and have a chat, which to me, that's what podcasting is all about. So without further ado, let's welcome to the podcast Olly OW_23 Wilkins. I got it. I went out to Crankworks and had no idea. I bought it the day before, set off to Crankworks, was like reading the manual on the plane, and then luckily.
He's really good at that stuff, is he?
Oh yeah, awesome. He knew all about it, man. He was like, oh yeah, you need to get your range here. You need to do this. You need to do that.
Wow.
Camera call.
There you go.
Props. So, quick intro. We are here. It is episode 60. 60. I still can't believe it either, man. 60 episodes. I think we've done more than that because there's the EWS or bus series as well, but 60 episodes, man. 60th birthday. And we'll set the scene real quick. We're in ODub's apartment. Somewhere.
Call it something called Penthouse.
All right, we'll call it
Yeah.
ODub's penthouse.
Yeah.
Which overlooks some beautiful woodland in a lovely little village.
Mm-hmm.
Not too sure where we are, but we'll probably leave that because knowing our fan base,
Do you want postcode or
what? There'll be people knocking on the door, I think.
There'll be paper bags on fire.
So yeah, episode 60. Olly Wilkins just returned back from Rampage, digging with Brendog, and we're going to get into that a little bit, no doubt. And
Can I just say, this is my third appearance, dude.
No, technically it is.
Yeah.
But you've been on almost every single episode.
Since you
did the voice thing.
Because you keep forgetting to ask other people to do it.
I do keep forgetting. A few people have done it, and I'm like,
nah.
Yours is funny. Like, we'll just roll with that.
Yeah, we'll keep it. We should record one today, actually.
We could do, couldn't we?
Yeah, why not?
We can do that. Yeah, man, no issues. What else, man? I think you were second in our Guest of the Year competition, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, second.
Who got first?
Martin Ashton.
Do you know what? That's a worthy winner.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'll take that, you know.
Okay, I think you should, man.
But next year, he's not going to repeat one.
No, he's not on this year. You are, so I think you know, if you play your cards right with this episode.
Yeah, I reckon so. Do you mind my P's and Q's? Should I put more of a YouTube voice on?
You might have
match
to,
the demographic.
Right, have to,
Right,
yeah.
Done.
Podcast host voice.
What's up, guys?
It's weird when you start recording because you do go into a bit of a different. I don't know.
Yeah, you sounded cool a minute ago.
I did that. I sounded northern. Now I'm just like stereotypical English.
It's imagine having one of those like international accents.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that.
A friend of mine is the voice for Apple.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Siri.
Is she called Siri?
No, she's not called Siri. She's the voice for Apple when you call the call centre.
Really?
Yeah. Heard of that shop 250 London?
No.
They're a little cool little motocross like mountain bike brand in London. Yeah. Jenny, she runs that. She's the voice of Apple. Yeah, and it's weird because I actually twigged it. I kind of recognise the voice, and I asked her. She's like, "Yeah, I do the Apple."
That's mega weird.
Apple voice. How cool's that?
Imagine your mum was Siri or something, and you could just, you could ask
I call her
her
Siri
such
all the
bad
time.
questions.
Yeah, you could.
Couldn't you? Where was I conceived?
You could ask her anything. That
Man, yeah. Someone's probably Siri's son or daughter out there in the world.
Possibly. It's quite a robotic voice. Do you think it's made up? I don't know.
Who knows? I can't remember what Siri sounds like. Hey Siri.
Oh,
Like,
sounds
yours
like
is quiet.
I thought she asked something.
Bound and gagged.
Nothing, no. Nothing.
Anyway, so what should we talk about, man?
I don't know.
Just back from Rampage. I think that's like hot topic, innit, at the minute?
Yeah, big
Talk about
time. Seems
Rampage.
to be. Goodness, we went on a ride around the Surrey Hills the other day, and it was actually, because when you're up there digging and stuff, it just feels like, well, obviously there's 3 of us on a ridge digging, and that's the reality of the last sort of, I don't know, 2 weeks of life, and you don't really think many people are going to watch. Well, you know, people watch the finals, you don't really think much of it, but
Yeah.
we went up Peaslake, and it was like every person we saw was so hyped on it. It makes you
Really?
realise how much reach that event has and how many
Yeah,
people
for
watch
sure.
it. It's
For sure.
really cool.
Yeah, I want to get into that actually. I wanted to ask you about Rampage, about like the reach and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think, how should we kick this off? First, let's talk about going to Rampage. I know it's
Yeah, okay.
quite broad,
Yeah.
but how does the whole thing come around then with Brendan? Like, have you got a few? Is there some other people you could pick from, or are you two like last resort?
So this was my 5th Rampage,
Mm-hmm.
5th year doing Rampage. Obviously, the last one we did was like 2 years ago, and Brendan ripped his thumbs off.
Ah, yeah.
But really, it's like I don't know. I'm like kind of the unimaginative choice, I would say.
Unimaginative. Unimaginative.
Yeah,
I can't
if I
say
was
it.
Brendan, I'd be like, oh, I can't think of anyone else. We'll just pick Ollie. Well, no,
Are you sure?
a little bit. Like, obviously, I dig a lot of jumps and I dig a lot of tracks around here and ride with him every day. So it's like, it actually makes quite a lot of sense to pick me. And I'm actually, believe it or not, a fairly motivated guy, and I dig quite a lot. So, and I think that's a big thing because you can't duck out.
You have to dig a lot.
You're stuck on that. You know, those ridges are exposed.
Yeah.
They're exposed to sitting down and going on your phone as well. Everyone can see. So there's no escaping. You have to have a big job to get done.
Yeah.
And, it is a big effort for sure.
Okay. What about, has Deeks done it before?
Deeks has done it before. He dug for, first of all, Yannick Granary.
Oh, right.
And then Sam Reynolds as well.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
so Deeks has actually been a couple of times, yeah. He's been a few times, I think. So Deeks it's really good to have people that have been before, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely something you learn year on year.
Even if it's like different zones.
Yeah, dude, yeah, because it's just the dirt's so weird and just the workload is so much. You can't go there expecting to, like, I don't know, flounce around, have a look at some cactuses, get some selfies. You actually have to do a lot, you know, you have to do a lot of like really shit work as well. It's not like cool shaping lips work, it's like picking rock,
Just grafting.
building site work. Yeah, so it's good to have people, because I mean, he's been to Afghanistan, so I imagine that probably
It's a walk in the park. Really.
Rampage is no thing, is it really?
No. It was awesome when he was on the podcast. Right, enjoyed talking to Ben.
Yeah,
He was cool, man.
good
Met
fun,
him a few
isn't
times since as well. He's a good dude.
he? Yeah, he's brilliant. Plus, no one nicked our tools, which is a real thing. It happens,
Really?
and no one nicked our tools this year, and I can only put that down to Deeks being there. You know, previous years they mess with us, they fuck with us because we all look skinny and English. Whereas once you have the ogre on your team, no one messes with the tools.
That was funny. Okay, so how does it all come around then, as regards to like getting there and all that sort of stuff? Do you go out with like time to chill, or?
So we get straight to it. We actually normally would get straight to it, as in we'd rush from the airport, go and get our shovels and stuff, and then rush to the site, and then it would be riders' meeting.
Right.
Whereas this year, Bren actually got the dates wrong, so we had 1 day of tourism first. So we did some nature walks, which was quite good in Zion National Park, which is, I got told by one of the riders actually to not tag anything in Zion National Park because you're not allowed to ride mountain bikes in Zion National Park, and they get bad press from the anti-biker people. Thought that was interesting.
Oh, that is interesting.
But yeah, so we arrived a day early, and then we went straight to the venue the next day, and it's like riders' meeting, and because it's a new site, the first day is mega important because everyone has to like put their stamp in, work out where the line's going, which isn't really easy. It's like, I don't know. The way we do it is we just look for features that stand out and then we make it work in between, fill the gaps.
Okay.
And obviously this year we were way out on a ridge on our own. We didn't know when we looked at the line, but yeah, we just saw that rock and wanted to chuck Bren off it. So So I ended up, piecing it together from that. But
Right.
do you know what it's like, in terms of compared to other rampages we've done, I feel like the line was really complete this year. Like we had a bit of everything in there, and I was really pleased with it.
Yeah. No, it definitely translated onto the TV and stuff. And we'll get into that in a bit as regards to where we finished and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Just backtrack really quickly.
Yeah.
It's the 5th time digging for Bren.
Yeah, fifth
Is that
time
right?
digging for Bren. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
okay.
fifth time digging for Bren. 2 years ago, wouldn't have saw his run because in practice the day before the event or 2 days before the event, he cased by. Well, he jumped 49 foot of a 50-foot canyon, and then went over the bars and
That extra foot will get you, won't it, when it's short?
yeah, and dislocated both his thumbs. It's actually really horrible. He's super invested in this stuff, and I get no joy from seeing him jump off stuff, if I'm honest.
Right.
I don't really, if you're with your mates, you don't necessarily want to. It's stressful, isn't it? It's a lot of the time I'd rather hit stuff, and I don't want to hit any of that stuff, but I'd rather do it than watch.
Send him off it, you mean?
Yeah, it's just a helpless, horrible feeling, being stood there watching.
It is a bit weird
horrible.
because you spend all that time as well digging it, and you're almost there for 1, maybe 2 runs.
It's actually mind blowing
nuts,
how
isn't it?
insane it was. Yeah, when you think of it like that, it's 10 days of the hardest work, and then for what? Well, Bren did 1 run.
Yeah.
Of it.
I thought I'd missed something because I was like I said to you, I watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was just sort of, time was not on my side yesterday for some crazy reason. But I'm trying to skip through and just watch the runs. I'm like, I've missed it. Go back, no, go back, no. So didn't do a second run then.
No, he didn't do a second run, which I was really stoked on. To be honest, it's really hard to imagine as a spectator, but no one does a full run of their line. So we built the jump at the bottom, which was massive and doesn't even look it on TV. You can't really even see it, but we built this big jump at the bottom, and it was that was for Bren to flip. And if Bren made it down that far without a hitch, he only gets 2 runs. Yeah. So if he made it down that far without a hitch and he had speed, he was going to flip it. That was his dream run. So the problem was he did his dream run first of all.
Right.
And I think that,
Yeah, you couldn't better it. It was just a sweet run, yeah.
Yeah, so going up for a second run is just
it's pointless, eh?
It actually is pointless.
Everything's on the line, really.
Because a lot of the features you've only done once, and for instance, that rock drop, for instance, the rock itself is massive. The drop's massive. It's quite far out as well as down. But what was dangerous about it, and which is quite often the case, I think, at Rampage, is everything around each of these features. So when you landed that drop, we were super worried about it. Well, Bren wasn't, but I was super worried about him bouncing off the landing.
And then it was just a canyon.
Yeah, massive ravine, huge ravine that was not really that funny, the ravine. It would have been like a death job. Jeez. So obviously you don't think of that when you see someone go down it, especially not when they go down it as it looks as faultless as when Bren went down his run. So
smooth as butter, eh?
So yeah.
I guess that's the stuff that just doesn't translate easily onto TV. It's just how gnarly, like you say, as soon as you go off track, how
none of it does.
And
how invested everyone is. All the diggers are all there, and they're all super worried about how it's going to turn out. All the riders are just, but they are just scared. They're not, I think everyone would admit it. Everyone's acting weird because they've all got to go up and do a weird run. Someone saying their name and then 3, 2, 1 and then a helicopter following you. It's mega weird.
It is nuts.
It is mega weird.
It is nuts. The whole, watching it on TV, the whole thing is just nuts because it's such a spectacle.
Yeah.
And it's something that's so, especially for someone at my level, so inconceivable of how to ride down that stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard to even compare it to any other sporting event.
Really is.
What else is like that, where it's just one run and you put all that effort into making it, and there's all that hype around it, like TV and
it's
helicopters,
weird.
everything.
How weird is it?
It's nuts. It makes no sense at all.
No.
It makes no sense.
Weird hairless monkeys.
Only one. There's one event like it all year. It just doesn't make any sense. But it's cool as fuck.
The weird hairless monkeys build a cycle path down a mountain that's much too steep.
Yeah.
Much too steep.
If you're an alien looking down on this shit, you'd be like,
what are they? You would be like, these are not the ones we keep. These are not the smart ones.
Where are the Elon Musks and stuff down here? Like,
Actually, no, we'll keep the riders. They're the brave ones. What about those digger ones? Get rid of them. They're the weird ones. We get rid of those ones.
so how did this Rampage compare to the other ones that you've done and dug out?
Wicked, because I felt like we're actually weirdly more efficient than any other years. Like, we had more of a plan. We made the best run we've made. I think this Rampage was really good. It was more probably. It was a lot of work. Like, we always try and build our own run, but something about this site was like, it was a gnarly workload to just get to the bottom.
Yeah.
And we only just made it in time. Obviously, like finals morning, even we were like scratching in a line from that flip landing all the way to the end.
Right.
Which obviously you don't see on camera, but we're up. Like, okay, so for instance, the flip jump, Bren flipped that at 8 o'clock in the morning that day to check that he could. You know, it's not like he flipped much. So 8 o'clock that morning, we'd come up in the dark, like Brendan with knee pads on. What? You know, at that time in the morning, and then he's just waited up on the top of the run-in until it's light enough to drop in, and then flipped its second run. It's just weird, man.
Yeah,
it
is.
All of it's a bit weird, but
Does it still make you like amazed at his like level of riding and just like how you can switch it, especially at 8 a.m. for breakfast?
The level of riding wise, I know he's good and all of that, but where Bren really impresses me is his motivation to actually crack on with that side of it. Because as soon as I get like cameras and commotion and all these people around pointing cameras, I'm like, ugh.
Poor faces.
I'm getting out of here. This sucks. I don't want all of this. Whereas Bren's like, I don't know. He's really he gets. I feel like he gets in the moment and he's just like he's got a job at hand. You know, the reality is not one person up there is like, oh, I can't wait to hit my 50-foot drop. That's gonna be so fun.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the coverage, but I'm sure some people said I just had a fun run in their interviews and.
Just make
I
it
don't believe them.
No, just say it was fun. Yeah, no doubt, man. It was scary as hell. That stuff.
That always impresses
again, it's hard
me.
on TV just to get an angle. I think there's a few good shots of people stood on the start ramp, and you just like, wow, it's vertical.
It's crazy how short it is to the bottom as well.
Right.
When you stand at the top, you're like, well, just to walk down, it takes so long, and then
but it's not.
No, I can't remember what the runs were, but I think Brendan's was around like a minute 20 or a minute 30 or something. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
Like I say, it's not that far really, especially not as the crow flies.
No, but I guess it's just so steep, relentlessly steep. Yeah.
Just to unwind a bit, something I was super interested in is how do you go about scoping where you're going to go? So let's just say you've rocked up at the Rampage site, briefing, I guess, in the morning.
Yeah.
Then what? People just
It's super weird, yeah.
Disperse into a mountain.
So we all have to drive in at the same time, like almost in a convoy, you know.
Okay.
And then you all arrive, and then it's a free for all. So it's like, I don't know. I think Andrew had little blue flags where he was going. I don't know how everyone else does it. I only know how we did it because obviously it's a bit of a tense moment because you don't want to like, oh, let's jump off that. Oh no, everyone else wants to. Now we don't want to jump off that.
See, like that's what it looks like it could be on, like from the outside looking in. But if that's cool, it actually is like what's happening. That is what's going on.
Well, it definitely is. And before in previous years, I've seen like loads of tensions and people like because they might not plan their whole line and then they come to a certain point and like there's a load of cliffs, so there's only two ways down some of these cliffs, and then someone's they have to share, and someone won't want to share, and it's just awkward. But I think this year it was like normally first year of these places, like they don't look that bike parky, whereas this year it seemed like everyone clubbed together, and I know there were like 7 riders on one landing, which is 7 times 3. I'm not good at maths, but that's a lot of people.
21.
Yeah, that's a lot of diggers. You can do a lot of damage with 21 people digging away compared to me and Deeks and Bren.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so glad that Bren's, not all of the riders put in such a monumental effort that Brendan does. Like,
right, really?
He puts in as much work as we do, and then he rides down it. So, I'm really lucky in that respect. But some people you notice are chilling.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Right, okay.
Well, I don't know. I couldn't even see this year, but in previous years I've thought, Wow, you're sure leaning on that shovel, brother.
Taking inspiration from the British Council.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to be honest, rightly so. They've got to ride down it, so...
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, I know if I was going to ride down it, I'd be wanting to stay quite fresh all week. And
you'd be out getting pedicures, getting those fish foot baths.
Oh, yeah, for sure. A bit of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Manicure, pedicure,
Get bleached, maybe?
Yeah.
No, too much.
Sat
Too
back
much.
And crack. Yeah. So to scope out the mountain, it is literally how it looks on TV. You just head up.
Yeah, you head up. So the way we do it, which I think kind of makes sense, is you just look for a feature or, because really I feel like Rampage is all about the story. So either you can do a run that's like everyone else's and do bigger tricks than the next man and then you'll place higher.
Yeah.
Or you can look to get a feature that stands out or something that people are going to remember or something that you name a Hollywood actor after and then try and get them to retweet it. I don't know, you can there's different approaches, aren't there? And obviously Bren doesn't, if you put two people, you put Brendan and you put Tommy G on a jump, Bren's going to do a knack or a flip. Tommy G's going to do whatever he wants. Those boys are so amazing at putting tricks down and stuff over the weirdest of jumps that it would be pointless to share a line with guys like that, you know?
Yeah.
Not that the whole thing's about... I mean, to be honest, the whole thing's not about getting a result, is it?
I don't know. Like, what? Do you get a good scope of where Bren's headspace is? Is it just trying to have as much fun as possible, or is he out there trying to?
No, it's not really fun. He's trying to do his job and get good coverage, but that sounds weird and that sounds heartless. Obviously, it's a big challenge and it's one that he wants to. Well, I don't know why he wants to do it, but he wants. I didn't think he was going to want to do it again after our last experience.
Really?
Prior experience, yeah. But he, he's out there for the right reasons. He's he loves mountain biking as much as all of us.
Do you know how the rider selection thing works?
So I think the top 10 get automatic entry for next year, and then the wild card thing. I think it's a little bit mafia. Like you have to send in a edit, and you you might be one of the wild cards.
Right.
But if you're gonna make it into Rampage, you're gonna make it into Rampage. There's no point in submitting a video, and if you're not good enough, you're not gonna ride there because they don't want people.
No. Car crash
as much
TV.
as exactly. Yeah. I don't really want that stuff. And in the last couple of years, it's been really really good injury wise. I remember the first time I went there, dude, it's horrific. It's like TV. You couldn't even. I think they cut out all of the big gaps, the big waiting gaps for helicopters to land and take people away. But there were 2 femurs first year I was there, and it was one of the Oakley Icon Sender years.
Okay.
And I remember just the silence across that valley, and just thinking like it was way more of an amphitheatre the first year I came.
Okay.
And I remember it just being completely quiet, and it was just like you just hear a guy shrieking, and then there's another guy at the top of the mountain waiting to drop in, and he has to just sit there doing as many little hand exercises on his bars as he can. Shaking goggles. Check the goggles, got nothing in there. I don't know, do a bit of back pedal, clear the pedals. I don't know, it was so nasty. And you didn't see it on the live feed. It all looked, all right, we're pushing the boundaries here, yeah. But when you're there and that stuff happens, it's horrible. Whereas this year it was glitch free.
It looked, relatively injury free. Yeah. Some big crashes, obviously.
Yeah,
it always is, every year. First 4 riders maybe crashed, other than Bren. Bren went down second, I think.
Yeah.
The other 4 all crashed.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't not crash big, really, can you? There's nothing small to crash on, unless you crashed as you're pulling away from the start gate, maybe. Yeah.
I might have trouble with that start gate, I reckon.
Yeah. It could be tricky, yeah. It could be tricky.
That link that looks pretty technical. What I was going to ask you was, so talk about the actual line that you thingied in.
Yes, yeah.
What would you say you did? Dug in? I guess you did technically dig in.
Dug in, yeah.
So you had 3 major features.
Yeah.
The canyon.
We had Dwayne Johnson. The Rock.
Yeah, so did you hear nothing from that guy?
Nothing from him.
That's so bad.
I didn't realise he was... Obviously, I knew he was a big deal. I knew he was famous, but I didn't realise he was like... I think he's got more followers than Kim Kardashian.
Really?
He's got 118 million followers.
118 million.
Yeah, so I doubt he saw my little social media push.
Yeah, but there was quite a lot. Like, it wasn't just you. Everyone was tagging in it.
Yeah,
You'd think that you'd go, oh, let's have a look at
Gave
this.
our best shot, but maybe he's probably got a team of people looking through notifications.
That's nuts, man.
And deleting all the gnarly
million
ones.
people. It's like, you
Well,
can't even comprehend that number.
Is that
of
a
how
bigger
many people.
audience than like NBC or Fox
Probably
or
is. I bet,
BBC?
I bet it is.
It will be, won't it?
100%, yeah.
And he's posting pictures of his avocado breakfast.
I know, just chocolate chip cookies.
Actually,
and watching Netflix.
I didn't follow him before I saw that giant rock in the desert, but I did follow him afterwards. He does loads of motivational ones, like
He's
selfie
quite a good
motivational
follow,
ones.
to be fair.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
mind
not
The
bad,
Rock.
is he? Yeah.
I'm into
I've
The Rock.
unfollowed him now because
you?
you can't ignore me like that. And
He didn't just ignore you. I think he ignored the whole mountain bike community.
he really did, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah.
He really snubbed the whole thing off. Maybe he should, he should have rename it. Maybe I don't know what to, but
I don't know what else
Chris
we could
Rock.
call it. What we need one that we could definitely get a retweet out of. So who's that? Like a failed. We could call it Paul Gascoigne.
he'd,
Or something
he'd do
like
it,
that.
wouldn't he?
Wait, is he dead?
He's not dead.
No, yeah, we could call it Paul
is he?
Gascoigne.
It might be.
Oh,
no, I don't
this
know,
is
man.
bad. But if he is, it wasn't meant like that.
Rest
It was
in
a bad
peace.
joke. It was a bad joke. It wasn't a joke for that reason. Let's move on.
Chris Rock.
So then,
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, yeah.
Chris Rock will do.
So then from the Rock, we moved down the ridge and then went into another canyon gap, which Bren was like, we're not doing a canyon gap yet. It was quite funny actually. This year he was like, yeah, we're just going to roll down the hill. We're just going to make a nice, easy line. And we probably made the hardest one we've ever made with the most scary stuff on.
What goes into deliberating where you're going to go? Who takes the lead?
Well, he's got to chuck himself off it, obviously. And plus, you don't want to, like, having been in the situation where it's like, oh, Ollie's found a canyon, and then, oh, Brendan's crashed on the canyon. I don't really want to repeat that. So it's a group decision, obviously.
Right. Okay.
Well, whatever he says goes, really, isn't it? But I think he genuinely likes to know what we're thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably smart. Probably a smart move.
It's good to share the
Yeah,
thought.
it's good to share where you're going to ride,
Imagine
isn't
you've
it?
got a dig team, a wide-eyed dig team, like, oh my god, this guy.
Is he really? He'll be all right, won't he? Man, crazy.
Yeah. So then after that canyon, which
Yeah.
we called Redemption Canyon, purely for American TV, we then went down into the dirtiest cliff, and this was like a feature that looked unrideable for the longest amount of time. Like,
Okay.
it actually was a cliff. And I don't know if there was one shot by Ian Collins where you could actually see kind of the length. What I always think of Rampage riding and the riding around at Rampage is this A to B idea, where at point A, you're not going to have any chance of stopping, bailing out. There's nothing you can do. You have to ride it out until point B. And you don't really you have that in micro. You have that in a small way on like trails in England, but you don't really have it that much, certainly around here.
Yeah.
Whereas that was the longest period where you're completely with gravity, you know?
Yeah.
And like, so that from the top of that cliff until basically the bottom of the run out, there's no way of stopping, there's no way of like changing your line, there's no way of chilling. It was massive. It was massive. And standing on it at the start, it looked entirely impossible. And to be honest, I think the rock and the canyon, I was all for. And then this one, I was like, so you're up for this one, are you, Red? And he's like, yeah, I reckon we got this. And I couldn't see it at first. I couldn't see it at all. But
Is this the one where you were hoisted in?
that's right, yeah, we had to be
rigged up?
roped up for that. And we did have to be roped up. Like, none of the video does it justice. You can't see it's actually vertical. And like, so at the bottom of this insane chute, there's also like a 25-foot drop. So you add it all together, it's really quite a big drop. It's like a death drop, which it doesn't look it when you're doing like jokey videos and stuff. I think we did a good job making it look proper fun.
Definitely. I think you did the best
I
job.
look back at the Insta stories, I'm like, oh man,
It looked like a blast.
that
mate.
cliff was wicked to pickaxe.
Who does all that rigging for you then? Do you have to rig it up
So
yourself?
thankfully we got some really good adventure guys there with all the rigging.
Okay.
I think he's called Rope Swing Pete.
Right.
I think that was
Rope
the name
Swing
we
Pete.
gave him anyway. So Rope Swing Pete rigged got us set up. Bren also, nice little insight for you, is actually afraid of heights, believe it or not. So
Really?
Brendan Fairclough is afraid of heights. So at early stages, I had no choice but to be the one in the rope swing Pete's rigging. And Bren was not up for even going near the edge of the cliff, which is very confusing to people listening.
Yeah.
But I do kind of understand his... I don't really have any fear of heights in me, but I understand he's very in control on a bike and probably feels more likely to roll out of...
Yeah.
It actually sounds crazy.
It does sound crazy, but it's kind of cool. Like you say, good insight into someone like
yeah, so he's scared of heights, and actually Deeks isn't that keen on them either. But after a while, and probably after a certain amount of frustration at Brendan watching me pick away with a rope directly in front of me, which is so annoyingly difficult and such slow progress.
Probably a little bit dangerous as well.
Yeah, exactly. And he decided to get on the ropes as well, and he's on it for like a whole day in the end. So
wow.
He conquered his fear of heights.
Yeah.
Which they didn't put in the live coverage. It would have been quite good.
That would have been a good
in
insight.
an American accent, it would have been quite good. It's on Fox this year, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's big.
So it would have been like, one man, one fear, the desire. Right, yeah. Something like that.
I think that's pretty good. That's accurate.
So those were the three features that stand out for me on his run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask you as well, like about the actual tools and stuff that you get. You said no one fucked with you this year as regards to stealing tools.
Yeah, we're safe.
But
we're safe.
what do you get? Like a set?
So again, that was something that we really got down this year over previous years. Previous years we've ended up with like these, some old tool that we never ended up using.
And
or
you take it yourself? Go buy it on the way in, or?
Yeah, we bought on the way in. Yeah.
Wow.
We stop off at like Walmart or Lowe's or one of those like giant stores, but I could give you the full itinerary if you want.
I'd love to, man.
Okay, so
I'd love to.
And this was the best year we've
had. It's a good
had.
insight.
This
you
was
don't know.
Yeah, here we go.
How does it
Here we go.
work?
We should really separate this. This could be a separate podcast.
Could
Tools
be.
for
Bonus
Rampage.
section.
Must watch. Or YouTube, we could do it. Top 10 Tools for Rampage. Okay, so we went in there. We got 2 flat heads. Now these are really good for compacting lips and landings. We got a pointy head shovel. They're all long-handled jobbies, proper American ones. Quite cool. The pointy one's really good because a lot of it's like shaly, rocky, horrible surface.
Yeah.
We then got a rock bar, which was mega useful.
Okay.
That we haven't had actually in previous years, but this site had quite a few big boulders, and you had to like trundle them off. I don't know if you saw like footage of it.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen you
the
sending
big
some
rocks rolling.
big stuff down
Dude,
some hills.
some of the gnarliest moments of the whole trip were actually us sending those things down, because you make sure everyone's clear.
Yeah.
And we didn't share the same part of the mountain with most people, so it was actually a lot better than what the boys probably had to deal with over in the metropolis where everyone was. Like, you make sure everyone's clear out the way. Me and Deeks, we were like, right, so you're definitely clear, Bren. Bren's by the edge. We're trying to be as safe and responsible as possible. And we've got Bass's team below us with Casey Brown and the other digger.
Yeah.
Really lovely team. Not that any of the teams deserve a rock on their heads, but these are really nice people. You don't want to squash these people of all the people. And so we've got the all clear. We've tipped it, and it's gone it's gone 90 degrees left of where we thought it was going to go.
Right.
And kind of to a cliff almost above them. And like, there's this awful feeling, like proper just like the blood drains from you. Like all of us just went silent. Like they knew a rock was coming. They didn't really know where we had intended on it going. It rolled over our bags, over all our stuff, over all our tools, snap shovels. What? This thing is probably 4 or 5 tons, this rock.
Shit.
Sounds like I'm making it up, but you just dig out. It's a very steep hill, so you dig out in front of it, and then you can lever off another rock. Yeah. So, yeah, it is probably 4 or 5 tons, and it ends up travelling at probably, it's in free fall, so it ends up going so fucking quick. And we got so lucky. Like, it ended up taking off of DJ Brandt's line.
Right.
Just taking off free fall all the way to the bottom, and it didn't go near anyone, but it really could have,
Yeah.
and it was just, this feeling.
It could have escalated quickly.
Yeah. If you want to know the feeling, you type in YouTube, Russian Zorb accident, and imagine being the guy that set the Zorb off. It is actually a fatal accident. So you're laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm straight faced. If you see me here, I look really respectful.
Thank God we're not
Russian.
recording this. That's why you don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez. That's gnarly.
I can't remember what we're talking about now. Oh, rock bar, yeah.
Rock bar.
Rock bar. Back to the top 10. Okay.
Potentially killing people. Rock bar.
Okay, and then the next tools that we used, and that we ended up using loads and loads this year were the picks. So you have a pick with, it has one pointy end and one like hoe end.
Okay.
And yeah, I ended up using that loads and loads. Like we got a small one and a big one, which was good because the small one you could use on the rope, and then the big one you could use on big rocks that won't move.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like I'm boring myself now, but it was actually...
That's interesting.
And we had a rake, of course,
Okay.
which
Just
is very
one?
important. Yeah, just one. And then this year, in theory, there was like 100% access to water all over the hill. Like they put a lot of effort into like a water infrastructure.
Okay.
And water digging at Rampage is very important because the dirt there is incredible, but you basically have to make stuff wet if you want it to stick together. So there's weird techniques you can...
In previous years, you have to hoist water up the hill.
That's right, and we still did, actually.
Right.
We still did, but we... there's some weird techniques you use to make that dirt work. Really nothing like anything at home, really.
No?
No, nothing like anything.
Not comparable to dirt jumping at all?
No, it isn't even comparable to like clay dirt jumps.
No?
It isn't, because you're building with dust, and sometimes you even dry pack with dust. And then half of the time you're building on top of a base of like... They're kind of like dry stone walls that you'll make to make a flat surface, or you'll make a sandbag barrier so it holds the dust in.
Yeah.
And then you're packing it down, and the only thing that actually makes it go hard is water. So you can have this pile of dust in a wall of sandbags that looks completely unrideable. You make it wet, 5 minutes later the boiling hot pointless desert sun has made it rock hard, and you're like ready to ride it.
Right.
You can like polish it up like a dirt jump with a...
That's where your skills come in.
Well, hopefully, yeah. So I think that is all the tools we had, and then we get provided like a big camelback for water, which is useful, and then we sometimes go and get those pesticide spray gun things.
Okay. Yeah. And is all that you get all that before you go for the first time, or you go scope it out first?
No, we get that on the way from Vegas because where you're actually at in... There's a few towns nearby. You're in a place called Virgin, which is Zion National Park. And you're near a place called St. George and Hurricane, I think, are the nearest towns. And they're not really... You're really quite out there in the middle of nowhere. Like, it feels like you are anyway.
Stay at a hotel then, or not?
Yeah, we stay at a hotel. Like, I think that's one of the things that we have always done right.
Right.
I'm not really a hotel guy.
Someone stayed. Camper van. There's a few
Yeah,
camper van
I just
stuff.
can't
maybe.
imagine doing that. Like I really appreciate the hot tub at the end of the day because you get back so late, and like I'm sure the guy that cleans out the hot tub doesn't appreciate us being in there, particularly the deconator. You know, imagine how big.
Yeah, you hold some sand, where only old deep.
You put a hairless gorilla out in the desert for a whole day in the scorching sun, and then chuck him in a hot tub. It's
right? Why did Bren call him the lobster?
The lobster comes. It's actually a deconator saying. It's the lobster actually comes from him saying stop giving it the lobster, and then he does. If you can imagine, obviously this is a podcast, but if you can imagine me clamping my hand in a lobster-like fashion, like a lobster claw fashion, it's like that.
I can see it.
It's like a talking mouth. Stop giving it the lobster. That's a deconator expression.
Is it? Okay.
But then he's ended up being called the lobster.
The lobster, which you've now
and then lobby. That was one of my questions, actually. That was one of my questions on my Instagram, yeah. It was why is he called
Let's
lobby?
drop it in, we'll throw a question in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
That's right, yeah. So it's...
Answered. Well done.
Yeah, we've answered the question.
Sliding
Killing
in
it, dude.
Killing it. Sliding them in there.
Yeah. Time for fan questions. No, it's not time for fan questions yet. I'm just going to get them ready, though.
Okay.
I'm not
That's
texting.
fine. That's fine. So in the end of, the whole few days digging, what is the test sort of routine? You say you didn't do a full run before, other than
no full run before, but we were actually, because we were on target with all our big features being finished. We were actually one of the most efficient teams in terms of testing. So Bren had done, and we had a lot of, to be fair to people, we had a lot of bad luck with wind on the day before finals, because everyone's stretched to build their lines. I can talk smack about them all sharing a landing and all of that kind of stuff, but the reality is you build until it comes to riding down the hill. No one's like finished and chilling at the bottom of the margarita.
Yeah.
So wind 2 days before finals is a really bad thing, and a lot of people have. You don't want to mess around with features like that with wind, you know.
No.
So we were really lucky. We got everything done. Bren sent the canyon for breakfast, which was quite horrible.
He likes things before breakfast, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like instead of scorching sun, just doing the and also, you know, he's mastered and completed Instagram, so he knows that he needs a bit of light difference to make all of his shots look good.
Oh my
God! Not that midday sun, you know. The guy's thinking about his Instagram.
And the time of posting as well, man. Get it done in the morning.
Oh, that's true.
A bit more time centric for the UK
very
market.
True. Yeah, yeah. Because then, as soon as we get to sort of lunchtime, it is around sort of like the evening time, the rush hour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't think I didn't do it on purpose.
You know your game.
Yeah.
So, what else was I going to ask you? This whole thing's just mind blowing, man. I still like, even from a fan perspective, just the whole thing of going to Rampage and stuff. Just
it's nuts, isn't it? It's crazy that it exists. I think it is cool that it exists.
Is there any time constraints on how much you can dig, or anything like that? Is anyone watching it? Like, can you only come in at X time and you have to leave by a certain time?
Yeah. I mean, we like. After a day digging there, you don't really have much left in you. It's quite difficult to drink enough. It's quite difficult to eat enough, and like, I think we tend to be like the last team up there. I thought. Well, I didn't see anyone else coming down after us.
Really?
Because we had a line on our own. And I think we did just have. I don't know, but I feel like we did have a lot more work. But then it's weird because then I look at the POV or whatever, and I'm like. Yeah, it doesn't look like too much work, like doesn't look too hard. So I don't know, really.
It must be so deceiving just being out there in that. Like the heat, the whole thing is just gnarly.
Yeah, it really is. Really demanding. Really is. When people say they want to dig at Rampage, like there's few people that I really would say do want to dig at Rampage.
Yeah.
It's a nice idea, but you don't want to dig at Rampage, man.
He's sort of talking about next year already. He's like, maybe you don't want to do it next year.
Yeah, we'll think about it, right? I think how weird I am, how much I really love biking, how much digging I do on my own, and how much I do dirt jump digging and I do trail digging. So I clearly like this stuff, and I'm still telling you don't want to do it. You know? I really like all this stuff.
Yeah. But this is too much. This is too much of it.
Yeah,
wow.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow. Well, it's interesting what you said as well about Bren mucking in. I think that's pretty cool. That's super cool. Because I know, like you said, like if I was going to do it, I'd be trying to take it easy a little bit. I don't really want blisters or anything like that.
Spars, brother, you would, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think we tried to stop him, like we have to try and stop him from doing it as much by, like, digging as much by, like, the sort of the lead up to when he's actually riding. Because it is stupid, like, you know, if you spend a day on a pick, you end up shaking it, like I'm shaking at night.
Yeah.
It's funny, we're all having bad dreams about the rock, about like rocks and stuff, like about unpicking rocks and stuff. And then Bren in his sleep goes, I can't remember what he said, but he was having bad dreams about the rock and he's talking out loud.
Can you smell?
Yeah. I can't remember what he said, it was funny though. I thought, poor bastard, he's lying in bed having dreams about jumping off it. And he's actually going to have to, or nightmares.
Did you expect the actual Rock, to get behind it a little bit?
No, not when I found out how many followers he had.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I was pretty... When I started seeing it popping up and then I looked through the post, I'm like, look how many people are tagging him.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to see one of them. Like,
you would have thought, wouldn't you? But I wonder how many stupid campaigns people have.
Yeah.
Also, he's just got a movie out, hasn't he?
Yes.
And the movie was called Rampage, and loads of people thought that was a smart joke.
Oh, was it?
No, it wasn't a smart joke.
Wow.
We didn't even realise. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, no.
No, there you go.
Dude, you're so goddamn clever.
No, I don't watch...
So watch rock films, thank you very much.
No, I guess I haven't been to the cinema for a very, very long time.
I went the other night for the first time in
Did
about
you?
5 years. Yeah, I went to see Venom. It's decent.
Nice. What's Venom then?
What was it? It was like, it must be Marvel.
Yeah.
It's like a Spider-Man-y thing. I don't know. Venom.
Yeah.
I think it might have been a snake something. It's Tom Hardy. I like Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's pretty cool actor.
Yeah, I like Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I like the fact, because he's so good looking and attractive, I like
Yeah.
the fact that he's bisexual as well. Cause
Is he?
you can just throw it in there when girls say that they like him. You can just, it's good
Didn't
to
know
just
that
have
either.
that, isn't it?
I didn't know that. My missus is a huge fan.
There you go, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't know
he's
that.
bisexual.
Didn't know that.
And you can say it like you can say it to her like it's a positive, you know.
Yeah.
And then it makes you seem like really cool and liberal and open and like, and then she's like bummed about it.
My girlfriend fell out with you last night, big time. After you threw that spider. Oh, mate.
What? Threw it when I...
Yeah, when you had it on your hand.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. And then you went like that, and she's like, he threw it, he threw it.
He's a bad guy.
She hates you after that.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh, terrible. The
Yeah.
spider thrower.
Yeah.
It
It's all
survived.
over, man.
It survived. I swear, I feel like tarantulas would survive nuclear war and stuff, and cockroaches.
I think they did, for sure.
Yeah.
Cockroaches, for sure. Those things are
Tarantulas
dinosaurs.
don't really care about too much. Didn't see any this year.
I was going to ask you, that was one of my things about gnarly stuff in the desert.
Lots of people saw rattlesnakes and tarantulas. We didn't see any, no.
Jeez. That is gnarly. Just being out in the desert with that stuff's like gnarly in itself. But saying that, yeah, like I lived in Australia for a while, did a lot of trail digging
Goodness,
out
there's
in
lots
the
of
woods.
animals there, isn't
Yeah,
there?
but again, nothing. Didn't see a
Really?
yeah, the whole thing. Like we raised some Australian national downhill stuff, like in the forests and jungle and or whatever it is, all that, so much, but didn't see a single thing.
Oh, nice.
I know. The only one spider we seen was in the car. We had a huntsman living in our car. Those
Is
things
that
are
how dangerous is that?
not dangerous. Not
Big ones aren't really, are they?
No, not dangerous.
I
but
really
huge,
wanted to
man.
pick up a rattlesnake. I
Really?
was obsessed with snakes when I was a little boy. Obsessed. I'd love to pick up a rattlesnake.
I didn't do anything first.
We
It's giving
didn't
me
see 'em.
sweaty palms already.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. Nah, not into that stuff. But some people have seen them out there.
Yeah, there were quite a few out there, but
Right.
yeah.
Protective boots or not?
Yeah, we got the boots on,
Yeah.
chainmail leggings.
Yeah, seen.
I think that a rattlesnake's so afraid of you, isn't it? I think you'd have to do a good job to find one. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I guess.
I didn't see any. I was looking for them the whole time.
Wait.
Desperate,
Upturning
absolutely
rocks, just
fascinated by that stuff. Proper nerd.
Wow.
I love all those. Yeah, amazing.
It's kind of funny that we're sat watching birds on TV as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Full
Yeah,
nature, national
yeah. We've got
Geo
National
Wild
Geographic on.
at the minute. That's funny. So if you could change anything about Rampage, what would it be?
Do you know what? Nothing for me. I was really happy. Bren was bummed at the score, which
Yeah.
I was bummed at the score, but I just think it's judged event. Like, I don't know what anyone ever expects. It's always gonna. It's an opinion
They changed
thing,
it this
isn't
year
it?
as well,
It's
didn't
like-
they? So it was now this year. I don't know if you saw, but the judging was done on TVs.
That's right. Yeah.
So
they
it
were
wasn't
locked
out
up
in the
when-
field,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if that's
No,
good
because
or
I mean those
bad.
guys. You know, I think it's really cool, all the support and all of the talk. But the reality is they've got a super hard job. It's live TV, a lot of pressure, and those guys are so overqualified. Like the judges are so, they're all the right guys for the job.
Yeah.
And some of them are really good friends, and it's, I don't know. I don't blame the judges at all. I think the format's kind of dumb. Like to me, putting a number to it is so weird.
Okay. In
That
what
makes
way?
it so. Well, why are you putting a number to a cyclist down a hill? It just
What do you
seems
mean a
mega
number?
weird.
Like a num-
Why does there have to be a number, right? Okay, so in my head, why don't you just put, and you could do this. I know Red Bull can do this with some fancy graphics. Why don't you have? Okay, say someone goes, Mr. Jones comes down first. Why don't I just use actual riders? Okay, Andreu comes down first. So obviously he's in the hot seat. He's in the hot seat. Godsey comes down second.
Yeah.
And then, so instantly then, you've got this kind of, was Godsey's run better than Andreu's or worse? So from a graphic perspective, Godsey then goes above or below.
Right.
The next guy comes down. It all becomes clear. It's as soon as you put a number on it, it becomes confusing, stupid. Some people.
Oh, you mean like a run score, like it?
Yeah, I think if it's
93.4.
an open discussion, people can even tune into the discussion and they get to see the graphics. Because I actually even think it's so objective that after the first runs, you might even look at that layout that you've even just done live on TV, and you might go, "Do you know what? Andreu's run compared to Godsey's actually in hindsight, now we're looking at all of them. Yeah. Actually, I think it deserves to move up, and then you could move that. I just why does it have to be so like stiff and regimented and numbers based? Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Can you see how that'd work down the side of the screen?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, totally. I mean, did you ever watch Best Whip? X Games Best Whip motor one.
I watched it ages ago.
But that was done on
JS7.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Which, that's a bit of a weird way of doing it, isn't it? Yeah. Really, let's be honest, it sort of comes down to who's got the most Instagram followers.
Who knows Snoop Dogg?
Who knows Snoop Dogg? Who's got the most, if you get The Rock to retweet it or whatever.
Exactly,
then you're going to bounce up. But I see what you mean, just having it...
Well, I think that's a really cool way.
Almost a voting thing, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't mind it even being... Because, okay, so they're doing all the right things. They've got a room with some of the best guys in the game for that job. So they've got that far, but then they've got all these dudes sat there with fucking clipboards trying to put a number next to a guy doing a spin off a drop. It's like...
Yeah.
But when the reality is, in hindsight, we can all... the reason there's uproar is because in hindsight, you can order these people. You can order these runs. So it's like, well, why don't we do that? I get... A lot of people are saying, well, why don't you let them do the first runs and then order them? But that's not how live TV works.
No.
So I understand that they have to have something going out at the time. But I think that's a really cool visual.
Yes.
As a visual person, that would be a cool way of looking at it.
And then we don't have goes to the top. Yeah.
Oh, and it's an 89. Like, what's amplitude? And then, like speed. What do you mean you're judging on speed?
Yeah, it makes no sense, does it really?
No,
speed is like absolutely not.
Well, if you're doing a massive drop, you have to go the right speed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not a race down.
Like, what do you mean speed?
Yeah,
like,
it is.
We've got these silly made-up categories. I don't even know what the categories are, to be fair.
I'm not sure either.
I'm probably talking smack.
No, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at Bren's run, and I know we can be slightly biased because we're sat here, but solo line, a few gnarly features, 3 or 4 gnarly features that no one else hit. I think where he finished was should have been better. Personally.
Like, to be honest, none of us are saying that Bren should have won it. Obviously, we were well excited because during the build-up, it kind of, we felt like we had quite a good chance, which we've never felt before. In previous years, we felt like it's like, the racer guy turns up and builds this line, and then there's all these wooden features and people doing double flips off, and we're just a bit of a kind of odd one out. Whereas this year, it felt like, fucking hell, we got like a proper gnarly hill here. There's no wooden features. This is going to be about as far from a slopestyle version of Rampage as possible. We've got a good chance here. And then everyone we talked to was kind of echoing that. So I think we probably fell for our own. We got eaten by our own arseholes.
That's a great term.
So then by the end of it, we were a bit disappointed with the result, but who cares? He got that People's Champion Award, which is cool, man. And it's kind of dope. Must have done something right for to get that. So that was cool.
Yeah, it's cool, and that's testament to you guys as well, isn't it? The whole team.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we were calling it. Bren was like, "What is it? What is it?" And we were calling it Most Improved Biker Award. Like they give those shit awards out at the end of the school award things. The most improved was always the worst one.
Consolation trophy.
That's what we were telling Bren, yeah, the most improved.
I don't know. Big Azzer, it's like about the spirit, isn't it? Spirit of the event.
Yeah, it's a cool award. And
it is a cool award.
Kelly's a man, so it's rad.
Cool. Do you think you could, if you had more of a digging crew, would that make it a huge difference, do you think? Or is
I think you end up filling your time, but I think what they were trying to achieve, which again says that we should have got marked. God, it sounds a bit right now, don't I? Christ. Well, I think that what they're trying to avoid is, like in previous years, it started to look a bit like a bike park. It started to look a bit too polished and like, dude, if I was flipping off a drop or if I was spinning off a drop, I'd want a big, wide, polished landing.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of repeating what people are writing with their what's it fingers on the forums there, but like, I get why they have polished landings, but I think they were trying to stop the mountain from being covered with all these polished landings, covered with sandbags,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it, like you say, it's looking like it's all just set up and...
Yeah, because Rampage was originally kind of a bit different to what it is now, wasn't it? It was a lot more raw, and it was like getting down something that you shouldn't be getting down.
Yep.
Whereas now, it's been taken to the next level, and we're doing crazy stuff off something that you shouldn't be getting down. So,
Where do you think it goes from here, though? Do you think it just carries on escalating?
Dude, I don't. Every year, I think it can't get more crazy. Especially being there, you're like,
yeah, I bet
it's horrible. But this year, even you get a glimpse into what will happen. This year, Adolf called out like a double flip down a drop, and you just, I don't know. I don't really like any of that stuff.
Right.
I'm old as shit now compared to some of the people there. I would have used to got hyped by that, but all I think of is, I hope Adolf's going to be okay.
No one's ever said that in the history of the world.
But I used to have a bit of like, yeah, man, yeah, we're making history out here in the desert. Yeah, we're the guys. Whereas now I don't have that.
Right,
like,
right.
Please don't do that, Adolf. Please don't do
Again,
that. Do
something a lot of people have said in the history of the world. Please don't do that, Adolf.
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, that name.
Yeah, it's a strong one, isn't it?
It is strong, isn't it?
What should we call him? Adolf. I thought it was Adolfo as well, but it isn't. It's just Adolf, straight up.
It's such a strong name. I know he's a nice guy and all that stuff.
Did you hold it against him a bit, his first name?
But it's...
You got a bit of nameism going.
No, it does that thing though, doesn't it? As soon as you hear it, you go,
Well, you don't know my middle name. My middle name's Goebbels.
But you do. I do. Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, definitely.
You do.
He's a little shit anyway.
Right.
Hellraiser, that kid.
Oh, really?
He's amazing. Yeah.
Rad
He's
dude.
the man.
They were saying on the live feed about his mum's a skydiver base jump.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I met her. She's a lovely lady.
Really?
Yeah. Can't imagine what that's like, watching your son do Rampage.
No. And vice versa, like watching your mum jump out of planes.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true.
Also kind of gnarly, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very true, yeah.
The VR stuff that Red Bull did was cool. Did you see any of that yet?
What's that?
So they had like an app on the phone, and you could basically put that mountain range
Oh, I saw it. I saw
on
some
like
Insta stories
anywhere,
of it, yeah.
like on your table and stuff, and you could watch people's POV runs.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
because I saw the heli going above when it was like, because I was like, what is that camera on the drones? Because I've got to say, I'm a big fan of drone crashes. I like watching drones crash. And the more expensive the camera, I kind of get a small amount of joy out of it, all going wrong. It's really bad of me. I never want it to happen to anyone, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
And there was this massive camera going around. It was the 3D mapping camera. And I was just watching it like, go on. I just like it when they power, you know, when they start like floating like a leaf in the wind, and then they power themselves into the ground. There's something amazing about it. And you just see the guy put the controller down.
Especially that thing would be worth a fortune.
Oh dear.
But yeah, it was cool. I think that could be good in the future for like the downhill stuff, like being able to.
Yeah, that was rad, wasn't it? Yeah.
See the mountain and watch POV bits and stuff. It was pretty cool. It sort of took it to the next level.
I mean, downhill is my favourite, but you just can't view it in the same way. Like Rampage is super good for television, isn't it?
It's right there. Boom. It's in front of you.
And they're making it better and better. I feel like they're making the coverage of it better and better, like with that app.
Yeah.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think that's
really cool.
The next level of sport and watching it. And everyone always says about Enduro being like super hard to watch, but maybe that's something they could like somehow translate.
I mean,
over.
that's getting there as well now, isn't it? All of the things that I thought wouldn't be. In my head, downhill is the Formula One. It should be, but like, it's just
what's
mega
Rampage?
hard. Oh, I don't know. That's like that one. What's that like stadium truck one where they have all girls with flamethrowers and giant tits? Some sort of American stadium truck one.
Yeah. Oh man, I know what you mean. I can't remember the name of it, but you reckon that's what it is? It's like a Nitro Circus cross.
Yeah. It's like the least refined.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like those long distance road races, that's the most refined cycling that you can do. And Rampage is the least refined.
It is. It's pretty raw, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is pretty raw.
Yeah.
But look forward to it, man, every year, especially when you know people now, like starting to get to know some of these people that are riding and stuff. Pretty stoked to watch it.
Yeah, wicked.
Stuff I know.
Glad you enjoy it. I'm glad everyone does enjoy it. Like I say, like the reception. Yeah, just riding around Pease Lake is insane. How many people commented on it is really cool to see.
Yeah. Good. Anything else you think we should touch on with the whole Rampage thing, or?
Well,
Anything?
I imagine a lot of these questions,
I think
these
they are.
questions on my Insta are going to be.
I can pick a few out if you want.
If you'd like me to, I don't mind. I've
let's
got
do
them
a
up
few.
here now.
Let's do a few, mate. Let's do a few. I got quite a lot as well, to be honest.
Have you? All right, let's go.
Did indeed.
Let's read this one up. This is from C. Jesby. Ben Meakin has offensive overarm armpit hair. Can you ask him to have it removed? Now, I think that's it's a very good observation, and you've obviously been looking closely at the coverage of Red Bull Rampage. Deeks actually wanted to get a hair transplant. If we had won, we were going to get a win bonus from Brendan.
Wow.
And maybe this is a good. Maybe he could have the overarm armpit hair put on as a hair transplant. Just an idea, putting it out there. But I'll put it to him. I quite like it.
Was he seriously considering a hair transplant, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, well, some of his friends are getting it done. It's like $4,000 apparently. So we were trying to think.
Not so bad.
Okay, so what it was, Bren said, "Listen, if we win this, you're getting $7,000 each.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. You're getting $7,000 each." And he's like, "You've got to spend it on two things." And Deeks was like, "Jet ski and a hair transplant." Which
What are
I
your
think
choices? No wonder you're bummed you didn't win, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why he's such a great guy. That's Deeks summed up.
7K, that's decent. So, out of interest, what is the deal we're getting out there?
Oh, it's helping my friend jump off cliffs.
Okay, that's cool.
But some of them are some of the diggers get paid loads of money. We were giving shit to Bren for the entire week.
Really?
We heard some figures got put out there, and we were like, we need to start charging. Can't really imagine how the guilt I feel when he's jumping off the cliff.
Yeah.
Imagine that, and he's paying me. It'd be even worse. Right, I've built that for you now. Give me the money and you jump off it. It's terrible.
As bad as you feel, he'd feel like way worse.
Yeah.
Let's crack another beer, shall we, real quick? Oh my God.
And you've got questions as well. Do you want to do it as well?
I've got quite a few.
All right. Yours are more important than mine. Mine, I have a feeling that the tone of mine is going to be. That's a real shame. I don't know you get around that. Really. So I have a feeling the tone of mine is going to be kind of.
I think some of these ones are pretty rough as well. Okay, question for Odub. This is from Bearings. Great Instagram name.
Bearings.
There
you go.
If you could guarantee Brendog a win at Rampage and all the competitors were uninjured, but as a consequence for the next year you had to introduce yourself to everyone you met as the Bishop of Banterbury, would you do it?
That's a really good question. That is really good. Did you see our behind the scenes Rampage dig video?
I did, it's good.
Okay,
really
so you understand the banter.
Yes.
The banter. I don't really don't like that word. Really don't. I don't like any of the words that used to mean something and then got changed into something because people said it in this manner. Banter or random. Like those two words are fucked now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They can't. Just like the name Adolf's been ruined.
Totally ruined.
You know, it's the same thing. You've got to be careful with language. You can't misuse it like that. Would I do that? The Archbishop of Banterbury. Yeah, do you know what? I guess I would, but I'd have to get a contract up front to say I'd want a bit more than $7,000 because, imagine going for a job interview.
Do you have to go for him?
Well, not at the moment, but
You'd be all right.
Dude. I don't know. Well, okay. All right, yeah, I'll do it, yeah. Why not?
I think you'd be all right.
Hello, I'm the Archbishop of Banterbury.
Oh, dear. Okay, this is a deeper one.
Ooh.
Okay, and this is from, good question, S36 Flat Cap, who actually works for Airdrop Bikes in Sheffield. Okay. Growth of the sport, good or bad thing? Question marks. Wait. Bums on seat / industry growth, more money for cool shit, sponsorship and events, etc. versus diluted MTB culture, less people getting involved in the scene, loss of trail etiquette, people don't dig to ride, just pay to ride.
Well, it's really difficult, isn't it? I always think that about the Olympics thing, because I like mountain biking being available to more people. I like it now, it's more popular. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, I was a bit, like the reason I got into it wasn't that it was popular, I thought it was cool and its own thing. So it is very difficult, but I think what you've got to do is just do your own thing and do the right thing for the right reasons. And as long as many people as possible do it, then it can't go off the rails. You know, there's always going to be.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people with pointy shoes with something to sell you, aren't
True,
there?
yeah.
I think there's always going to be like the hey guys involved in anything looking for a quick buck, but like I just don't think it will last. So as long as everyone's doing the right things for the right reasons.
I feel like a lot of people jumped on the growth of the industry about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, some people might say, as a company, we were sort of guilty of that, thinking it was going to be a lot easier than what it actually is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of companies jumped in on that and tried to make a quick buck.
I don't think it matters if you jump in on the growth of something, as long as you're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters if you're riders and you're all like into it. I don't think it matters. I think where it matters is like when you don't really have. You kind of don't have a horse in the race. You don't like biking, so you're just going to go in.
It's just a job or
fuck it up.
whatever.
I think it's difficult with trails. I don't really agree with. I don't want to just ride legal trails, which sounds really. I don't know. I don't even know if you talk about it on a podcast.
Trail etiquette's
deep
dive, innit? You go down a deep dive.
Yeah, dude. The thing is, I don't want to. I wouldn't bike if I was just riding bikes on like motorway bike park tracks or super deep. Like the whole reason I've got into riding, like it's easy to talk smack if all you do is ride the same bike park over and over again. But if the whole reason you're into riding is because you've built stuff and then rode it the whole time, and that's really what I've done my whole life. So it's hard for me to be like, yeah, we should make all of the trails official.
Yeah.
Because all of the official trails suck. Is the reality compared to.
True.
I mean, there's obviously I'm talking crap. Loads of them are wicked, but yeah, I think if I had to just ride official trails, then I don't
get quite bored of it.
Yeah. So I don't think I've answered that question at all, really. But I think as long as people continue to do the right things for the right reasons, and be authentic, authenticity is what I long for the most as a fan of biking. I like calling it biking. It makes it sound lame. As a fan of the sport, I like authenticity.
Yeah.
Which
Good answer.
I think that's all I got really for that one.
It's decent, mate.
Do you want me to look at one of my? Should we go to the dick archive, like the dick joke archive? Right. Shall I ride some of the ones? How do you ride loam corners as good as you do? From Dan Ackley. I mean, it's very difficult. It's something I've been working on a really long time. I'd like to thank. I'm not gonna answer that one. Are you deaf in one? Are you deaf in both eyes like me? Huh? Are you deaf in? Okay, so I think he's talking about my different coloured eyes, but I'm not. First of all,
have you got different coloured eyes? Have you?
Yeah, I've got different coloured eyes. First of all, Harry Hemingway, it's not deaf if you can't, it's blind. So are you blind in one... I don't know. Harry, I feel bad now because I think maybe if he's blind he can't type and it's changed it to deaf. This is a difficult one. I've got myself in another hole. I've got to dig myself out. I'm not blind.
Speak.
Okay, so I'm not deaf in either of my eyes. They're just different colours. Is the answer?
You're not blind in your ears?
No, I'm not blind in my ears either. No.
Oh dear.
Deeks has asked, are you a fan of girls with hairy toes? I don't know if he wants me to go into the story behind that. I think probably he doesn't, so we'll leave it at that.
I'm keen to hear it.
No, you can't. You'll hear it in a minute. You got any good ones?
Okay. Ben Eggleston. Where else in the world, other than Rampage, would you like to get 3 days digging at?
That's interesting, that is. So I've dug in actually loads of... I sound like a knob there. I've dug in many parts of the world. But I've dug in loads of places and I don't know really. It's a weird one to me because you leave those trails out there in the middle of nowhere, like Madeiras.
Yeah.
I think I'd really like to, after going on like a non-bike holiday, which is weird for me, I went to Japan, and some of the chutes, you'd barely even have to dig them, they'd be the most incredible thing in the entire world. Like these crazy, I think they're logging chutes, filled with leaves. But that doesn't sound much like digging. Dude, I'm not going to lie, I don't really love digging that much.
Don't
It's something I have
aspire
to
to
do
go
the whole
digging.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really ever plan like, oh, I can't wait to go digging. I guess I do, but I do from the finished product. I don't really. I've stopped thinking of it as a cool thing, really.
Right.
It's kind of like work, so that you can ride your bike.
Okay. You definitely put the hours in though.
Yeah, I exactly. So I feel like I'm allowed to say I don't like it. If you don't dig, then you can't really go like, I don't like digging.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
But
Okay. Good question and good answer.
good question, good answer.
Ollie.
Well, there was no answer. There was no answer, was there really?
Well, I've got a good one.
Go on.
Mark Robinson. I'm going to leave part of this out because I don't understand it. But can LeBron make LA great again?
Well, I think LA already are great because they are great. Do you have much of a basketball following on your podcast?
Huge.
Do you think? Yeah, massive. But I think LeBron's so alpha. I feel like he's going to have the same problem he has at the Cavs. I just can't see. I can't see it at the moment. I can't see a championship. I can't see a team that's going to beat the Warriors
Okay.
with LeBron at the helm. But he's the best man for it, so why not?
Yep. I heard that where did he come from? Cavs, right?
Cavs, yeah.
The tickets for Cavs games were like crazy cheap, like $2.
Oh no, that
Yeah,
sucks,
it
doesn't
does
it?
suck.
Because they've still got an incredible team. And
I'm not a big basketball fan myself, but
I'm a huge basketball
I know
fan,
you
which is
are.
why that's a good question.
yeah.
A brilliant question.
Dick Archive.
Yeah, we'll go to the Dick Archive, shall we? The Dick Archive.
Screenshot that 'cause I want to ask you about part of this question.
Why OW23? OW is just OW. W is my surname, Wilkins, so it's just OW. Also, Kevin Wyndham used to be KW.
Boom.
And then 23 is my favourite number because Michael Jordan, I used to play basketball. I've got another one from Oliver Whitney. That one was from ICD Oz.
Okay.
This one's from Oliver Whitney. He says, did Deeks actually do anything? And I'll tell you, Deeks did an awful lot. Deeks did loads. He did a lot of gobbing off, as he would put it, a lot of lobstering on.
Lobster.
But he did. That guy's a machine. You put him on a pick, and he'll. Like sometimes we left him, and he dug stuff out too deep. We had to put dirt back in.
Really?
Not really, no, but. No, Deeks works hard.
I got Adam Lubbock. Oh no, it's not Adam. Yeah, Adam Lubbock on Facebook.
Yeah.
As a free rider, do you think World Cups need bigger jumps? I'm interested in your opinion.
Okay. Well, I think that all of these guys, these are some of the best riders in the world, and I think, for me, from a fan perspective, these tracks have got too easy. They're too bike parky. I understand why it is. I understand that bike parks are obviously the people working with the UCI on hosting the events, and there's lots of money involved. But I'd like to see more natural tracks, bigger jumps into motorway sections, multiple line choices, which is how it used to be as a kid when I used to go to the World Cups and watch Bren race. It used to be very different to how it is today. So that's how I'd like to see it. I also reckon there's something in if you built massive jumps at the bottom, they don't have to be dangerous. They can be big and safe. You could then do a kind of VIP area style thing, which is what World Cup races lack, and why they don't have big cigarette companies sponsoring them and tampon companies and giant money. That'd be the best if they had a finish line arch with all the bigwigs from Tampax and from Ribena up there sipping on pina coladas. Then that would be a way.
They could remove the tampon to start the race.
Dude, perfect.
And
You've gone one level up. I was just thinking they're having a meal, but you're actually thinking about integrating the brand into the track.
yeah,
They could have a bit
if
where
it's
you
raining
go,
as well, dye it red. Heavy
Yeah.
flow. Open the thing. The start of the race.
Dude, we get some
man.
heavy flows in the bomb holes before the big jumps.
There you
Because if
go.
it's raining, we'll just stick the heavy flows in there and then whip them out on
Yep.
the live feed.
Consultation
Perfect.
available to order.
Perfect. So that's my opinion. Yeah, I think big jumps. I think there should be bigger jumps. I think the finish line section should be the only motorways on the track, in my opinion.
Are you still a fan of World Cup races? Like, do you always?
I follow them,
Watch
but it's because I've got a lot of friends racing them.
Yeah.
I do find them less interesting now.
Right.
I do find them less interesting than they used to be, and it is because of the track changes, and it is because I don't know. I like the Formula One aspect, and that we got 29ers, and that there isn't an answer to what wheel size, but the fact that we're considering 29s is just like, come on, let's take a step back. What's this about? What's it meant to be about? What's it meant to be? And I know it is the fastest guy down the hill, but I don't know. You shouldn't be. In my eyes, we should be having to put smaller back wheels on because it's so steep and so gnarly.
I think that's what's coming there. There's a few brands in there
That's
working
right, yeah,
in a
with-
650B
because the
rear.
UCI have allowed different
it, yeah.
size, haven't they? Yeah.
And if it kind of makes sense. We talked about it on
Yeah, I
last
think
episode,
so, I
actually.
think-
With motorbikes are like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my new e-bike's gonna be like that.
Right.
I've got it's a new Focus e-bike called. They have like a range called the Drifter range, which is like a 27.5 plus rear end and 29 front.
Okay.
And they ride, really
You've
amazing.
ridden one already?
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay. Interesting.
So that's my answer.
Very good.
I've got something from Elliot Stiles here. Where can I buy Death Grips Babe? Now I appreciate the babe on the end there. Death Grips are available anywhere. Don't
Yeah.
you worry, Elliot. You just type that in Google Shopping and it'll come up. Or go to your local bike shop because I like to support local bike shops. MB Cyclery, for instance, is my local bike
They
shop. That's where
definitely
I get
stock
my
them.
Death
I've
Grips.
seen them today.
That's right, yeah. Full
Lots
range.
of them.
Full range.
They do. I got a few from one guy.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Who is this?
The Aberdare MTB.
Good
who
bloke.
Incidentally,
Sounds like a top bloke.
when we did the Guest of the Year,
Oh, yeah.
people could win a load of prizes.
Yeah.
And he won the thing.
Oh,
The
did
whole,
he?
yeah,
Good man. So he's a proper podcast fan.
proper podcast fan, mate.
Nice.
Good dude as well. Okay, we'll do these. Okay, what's your favourite pie, chips, or mash?
Pie chips.
Oh,
and
hang
mash.
on. Let me rephrase it. Totally wrong. What's your favourite with pie, chips, or mash? And is it ketchup or gravy?
No, right. I know this is somehow a sort of northern-based question at the Stupid Southerner, so I'm going to give you what you want. My favourite to go with those items that I can't remember is couscous.
Oh,
Or maybe, no, quinoa. Or as you probably call it, quinoa up north.
oh dear.
There you go.
Travel tips. What do you always take?
What do I always take? There's some good. I've had some really good ones over the years. I've got a really long charger cable so that you can plug it into behind where the TV is in really, really cheap hotels. Not that I ever stay in cheap hotels. Normally I'm in super expensive ones, but if I ever have to. Yeah, so I've got a really long charger cable. All my dirty washing goes in a pillowcase. I'd take that pillowcase and make it my own.
That's good. That's a good one.
That's it. That is a good one, actually.
That's good.
Keeps it separate from the other ones. There we go. There's a good tip. Yeah, we'll keep
That is a
that.
good one.
Yeah, let's round it off with those before I
Nice.
get boring.
I dropped a good one on the Insta today, which is camelback around your seat. So your pipe comes over your right shoulder,
Nice.
and you can sip at water all day without having
Driving camelback.
to. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if that's sad or quite cool. It's
Mate, it can be both. It can be both.
Probably the first option, I think. What's your go-to karaoke tune?
Dude, I've never even been to karaoke.
Don't have it.
I've
down
new
there.
even been to go. Oh, no, oh.
We just have
When I
piano
was at-
bars.
When I was at, yeah, we've just got piano bars here. Yeah. When I was at Cub Scouts, they made us do a performance, and I did Coolio Gangster's Paradise.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nail it.
And I was Coolio, and my friend was CeeLo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got really. That's my only experience.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd actually sing though.
No rendition.
No, I've got nothing for
we'll
you
end
now.
with a
I've got the voice-
rendition.
Don't think I haven't got the voice of an angel though. But you have to tune in to the 4th time I've come on this podcast and that's only if I get voted as the #1 podcast. So, and then I'll sing. How about it?
How about it? Sammy Smithson. Where do you see e-bikes going over the next few years? How will they change mountain biking? Can you see a time when most riders have, say, a short travel trail bike and then a gravity-focused e-bike for self-uplifting?
I tell you what. That time where those riders will have that is now, because I have a gravity e-bike and a short travel trail bike.
Right.
Interestingly,
Yeah. I've seen
do
you
you-
switch loads more recently, right? To
Oh,
a lot
dude,
more
it's
e-bike
tough
stuff.
because I didn't even like when it's not even in my contract Well, that's an annoying thing to say, but it's not even like part. What I'm saying is, it's not part of my job that I have to ride e-bikes, and yet they're just so good. They're undeniably good, and like I'm in the business of fun, and those e-bikes are so fun. Right. And like, you don't ride them how you think you'd ride them, and yeah, it's not what you think it is, and it is a mountain bike, and it's a bit of a heavy mountain bike when you're descending, but then it's a mountain bike that you can get a lot of descending in with it being a bit heavy. So
yeah,
I'd sort of feel reluctant to even comment on it, because there's just so many covered fingers.
I feel you're
primed
like, you're
and
a real
ready
purist deep down, but
well,
like most people
I am,
now, you're like,
why do I like mountain biking? It's for fun, and like I go out on my e-bike a lot, and I still go out on my mountain bike a lot. I did some interview and I read it and I was like, whoa, that was an eggy response. But I did an interview on e-bikes and it said, all the people that talk smack about e-bikes, they don't ride their mountain bikes as much as I ride my road bike, so
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't like.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ride my mountain bike loads. I'm gonna ride my jump bike loads. I'm gonna ride my e-bike loads. I'm gonna ride my road bike loads. I don't care. It's all riding. It's all good fun.
Solid.
That's all I got.
I like it, man. I like that. Sandy Plenty. Would you like to compete in Rampage yourself? And would Brendan make a good digger for you?
Brendan would be the best digger. He'd be really good. It's me. I don't know if you noticed a significant lack of events from my CV in latter years and in former years. I don't like doing events. I don't like all of the gnarliest things I've ever done have been away from a camera. They've been with the boys in the woods. I don't care for it really. I don't like the commotion, the fuss and bother. You won't find me at a music festival. You won't find me in a crowded club. I just don't care about that stuff. And I've spent a really long time in getting things just how I want them, where my job is how I ride. Who I am is who I am.
Yeah.
When I'm doing my job, I don't have to pretend. I don't have to put on a silly cap and talk about how my tyres were hooking up in my race run. It's just not me. It's not my thing. It's not. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really deal well with stress, so I wouldn't be one to do Rampage. That said, I really like. It'd be so fun to go back and like just do an edit on just hitting people's features. It'd be kind of a bad move. It'd be an uncool thing to do.
Yeah.
But I'd love to do it and just actually talk about how crazy each of those features are.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
You could spread it out across people's runs, so you're not picking on anyone.
Mm.
You're not going like, this guy's run was easy.
Dude, I think it's such an interesting time as well for what you do, because, you know, the whole social media thing's only growing and only becoming more prevalent in like the industry and stuff.
Yeah.
And like you said, you know, you have the ability to be yourself. You're not constrained to doing any events you don't want to do, or.
But it's taken a really long
lucky.
time to be able to do it. So if I then all of a sudden started having to, just when I have to do stuff, I don't like it, and it's not why I got into it. Like, I'll do another job if I start not enjoying bike riding, I'll do another job. I don't want to do something I don't want to enjoy. You know.
Yeah. I think we probably spoke about it a little bit the first time you were on this thing, but what is like an average week? So
I still work in product development for DMR bikes. Obviously, I work kind of in product development for every single bike sponsor I have. So I give a lot of feedback. I'm 32. Am I 32 or 33? I don't know how old I am, but I'm older and I understand how the business works. So I know that my feedback is actually useful. So, and DMR are a lifelong sponsor, so I'm kind of constantly feeding back to all of my sponsors, and I still do that in an office kind of based role 2 days a week, I'd say, maybe less.
Okay.
And the other days I'm out digging, I'm out riding my bike, I'm doing videos, I'm doing photo shoots, or I'm organising trips. So it's all, nothing's really done. You have to be quite kind of motivated to get out there and actually make things happen.
Yeah.
No one's sending you on trips really.
Is that tough to like get your head in that gear to?
No, I like it. It's all part of the challenge. It's been part of the challenge since day one for me because I didn't want to do events. You know,
yeah.
So
this whole thing happening with the social media and
it
like
works
really
well.
Played into
it works
favor,
well.
right?
I'm always slow on the uptake because I'm not really someone who'd be sharing much about my life
Right.
If it wasn't for... Not that I don't like social media, but because I do, I really enjoy it, but...
I think you need a podcast, dude.
Maybe I need a podcast.
For sure. I don't know.
Why are you encouraging competition?
Oh, mate, more the merrier. 100%. Like, I feel the way this one's going, and if you look at... you're a big...
Yeah, big podcast fan.
Big podcast fan. You're into like Fighter and the Kid. If you look at all those comedians, all have their own outlets. They all have a podcast.
Yeah.
You look at UFC fighters, and I always use those as a bit of an example.
Yeah, it's rad, isn't it? Because you work your way around a circle, then, don't you?
And they all, let's say, in hindsight, like Death Grip comes out. Yeah. Ideally, you guys would go and do all of the other podcasts.
Yeah,
you do the Vital one, you do the Downtime one, and you'd all help each other. And that is the way I hopefully envisage the whole thing going.
Yeah.
Definitely don't look at it as competition. Like, the more the merrier.
No, I actually would love to do a podcast. I mean, it's...
Because you're obviously...
Also...
It's easy for you, like, to just sit and chat and have a laugh.
No, you make it easy. You put me at ease. Also, what do you put in these drinks?
Yeah, I snuck a little something in there.
Yeah,
We've not got
serum.
much longer
Truth
left.
serum. You're trying to get the truth on e-bikes. Get a scoop.
But I think I don't know. I feel like that's the way it's going. Like podcasting, as a whole, is growing. Like,
everyone is at their own publishing house, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's...
And you have an outlet already, so you could.
Dude, I do. I spend a lot of time making fun of vlogs, right? And
You're
I do
not a vlog
make
fan.
fun. Well, I
What
watch
about your mate
loads
being
of
a vlogger?
them. I enjoy them. I watch loads of them. And I enjoy them. I just sometimes feel like, how long can it go on for that we do top 5 worst crashes, and how long can it go on for that we do how to? It's not because a vlog. What the fuck does even vlog mean? It's a video, whatever. You could film yourself and it not be like vloggy. It doesn't have to be what's up YouTube. And I guess it comes back to what we were saying before. It just has to be authentic, doesn't it?
It does, but I feel a lot of it isn't authentic. If you look at, I always use, and I'm gonna guess this guy's a really nice guy, but I'm gonna Jon Olsen as a bit of an example.
Oh yeah.
Because his vlog is just like a highlight reel.
Yeah, it's creepy, man.
It's creepy.
But
yeah,
then how weird would it be a vlog of you like scraping shit off the back of the toilet? It wouldn't.
It'd be
You can't
awful.
have it. And
No,
exactly the same as with Rampage. We're not going to put out videos of like us when we're all over it and sick of it.
Yeah, but that's
guess
yeah, I don't know. But like his vlog, like you watch it and you just think, I always think kids watching this must think, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah, you're like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I ain't got a Ferrari.
Oh yeah, your bikini model girlfriend's farts smell like roses, do they? Okay, of course they do. Yeah.
There is an authenticity that you should have, and I think the podcast thing is definitely helping with that. I've just been able to just sit. And like you're a podcast fan like me, of just
I guess the same
having
with vlogs
conversations
in a way, really.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're editing them, but the raw ones, you don't hide who you are, and it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because I watch them, all the smack I talk about them, I do actually watch them, and I do enjoy them. We'll see.
Get a podcast going, man.
I'd love to get a podcast going. I've talked about it for years.
Yeah, you should, for sure. You, a few other people down this way.
Yeah, I should.
Yes.
No one else is as keen as me, though, so it'd just be Ollie trying to get his friends to talk to him for a bit, and then...
Mate, I'll help you. No problem at all. You know that. I'll get it going.
Nice one, dog. Appreciate it. Appreciate the encouragement.
Okay. _Joe_must. I think we might have just covered this. You're a marketing man, Ol. I'd be keen to know your thoughts on vlogging, and it's important.
Oh my goodness!
As if I just lined that up. And it's important / relevance, if any, in mountain biking. Or is it just a childish and cheap way to push products on the younger generation?
Yeah. So I think it's cool, and I think it is a younger generation thing. Like, who cares? Whatever. If everyone's watching YouTube, bring out YouTube content. But we don't have to follow that kind of the way that all these vlogs are put together. That's what I think the problem is. That, like, I don't know. You don't have to be like that weird vlog voice that people do and stuff.
Hey guys!
Yeah, and like it doesn't have to be naff content. I guess it does if you're going to attract 14-year-old boys, maybe. I mean, I guess. Well, do you know what your demographic is?
No, I don't actually know.
It's interesting, isn't it?
No, I don't. I usually just go with engagement and who sends messages every day and stuff.
Yeah.
It is predominantly, I'm going to suggest, male, 20-ish, 21, up to about 40.
That's it, because I think a lot of these vlog things, I think a lot of riders feel pushed into doing vlogs. And I think the reality is, you might get a big chunk of that pyramid, that pyramid of people that are watching, but that big chunk at the bottom is kids that aren't going to buy a $5,000 carbon mountain bike.
Yeah.
They wish they could, and it's sick, and they love riding, and that's wicked that you're putting out content that they love. And maybe you could sell some soft drinks off it, some fizzy drinks, some fizzy water, or maybe you can sell, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a strange one.
It is a strange one, yeah.
It's strange how the whole thing's playing out, and it's hard to, comprehend what's going on, to be honest. You just sort of go with it. But it's interesting, and that's one thing I love about having this thing, the podcast, is being able to sit and chat to people like you and try and understand it, because I don't understand it.
I don't hate on it at all. I'm older, so I'm like going to be a bit resistant to it. And if I'm honest, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to do it. So
well, that's the thing, man. We're that generation as well that didn't have this shit growing up. We just went and rode our bikes. No one knew you were riding your bike. You're not telling the world all the time that you're riding your bike.
Right. Okay. So the shit that we used to watch. If we watch Sprung video, is there a vlog out there that's going to shape your like those videos have shaped my life.
Yeah.
The music, the way they're put together, the art in them, the graphics, everything. Like, is there a vlog that's going to do that? And that is what you have to think, because that was what we were taking in. If you're just taking in this diarrhea the whole time, what are you going to end up like?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm the man, but I'm saying I've shaped my life in a certain way that I'm happy with because of those things, because of Dirt magazine, because of Sprung Video magazine, because of 411, because of all these like cool things made by people who are really good at it. Also, I kind of think stay in your lane. Like, I'm not a videographer. Bike rider,
I think it's very. I'm not saying it's very easy, but it is easy to go and buy a GoPro and make something which is half decent.
But at the same time, who cares? It's all, and I watch them, so
yeah.
I'm being a bit of a bitch. I'm not actually saying anything in particular. I'm just. But
We'll do a couple more.
Yeah, let's do a couple more.
I'll
look through the dick archives as well.
Yeah. At Declan Wilcock on Instabanger. When you were building at Rampage, did you look at the features and the terrain and feel out of your depth, or did you think it was manageable to ride? Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. I got to say, I don't think I'd be a good digger if I looked at it and thought I wouldn't ride it. That's not to say I'm going to sit up there with a helicopter going and people shouting my name and cameras pointing my way, but it is to say that given the right day, without all the kerfuffle surrounding, I'd probably hit some of those features. Might not make it look as pretty as your man Brendog, but I reckon I'd get it done. I feel like I'm a fairly safe rider when it comes to testing horrible stuff. I also do a lot of like, I kind of have my own rampage actually, my own secret rampage, because I do course building in Mexico, and I've got a Colombian one coming up, and that is essentially my own rampage. So we build these features, and then at the end of the week I have to test them, and it's a rampage that goes on behind any cameras. You don't really see it. You might see a few videos that I post, but that's
who are you building for then? Is it general public or
I build for an events company in Mexico called Altius, who are responsible for down Puerto Vallarta, and of course the Taxco downhill, which is the world famous Mexican street race.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like the course designer builder alongside Christian Fairclough, who is Brendan's brother, and then a team of other guys who we get to come along. Liam Mason, who's you might know as Bean or the Beaninator from my Insta stories. Duncan Ferris as well, who works for Velo Solutions in the UK.
Right.
Got Party John's coming out to Colombia. It's quite a cool like gig that we got, building tracks and testing them and stuff.
That's rad.
And we get to see cool parts of the world. So very, really thankful that we get to do that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my rampage in a way,
Okay.
and it's on my own terms, which I prefer.
Yeah.
And there's no bloody helicopters, no hoo-ha.
When are you heading out there?
I'm actually heading out in a couple of weeks to Colombia, to Medellin, which is going to be a world record, world's longest street race, I think. I think it's or it's like the most number of steps, or I can't remember exactly what the record is that they're breaking, but they're breaking a record.
And are you going to race it?
No, to be honest, dude, yeah, all right. I'm too scared to race. I'm too stressed out to race. But also, we do have a lot of work to do with track maintenance, because when you get a load of riders riding down, a lot of these features are wooden, and
Right.
you're building with like what you call in the trade banana wood. So all of the wood's all bent and twisted and knots everywhere, and we're building really temporary. So we have to do a lot of like maintenance, just make sure everything's safe. So the last thing you want is something going wrong during the event, which we have had. So yeah, I can't really duck out and race. Okay, but it suits me anyway. Eh?
Sounds
I
like,
get first,
exactly. Yeah.
I get first chest cam. I get iPhone clips. Everyone watches them, and then the race is sort of an anticlimax. Really, is the way I see it. So
Any
that's
more in the Dick archive or whatever we're calling it.
okay. So we've got one from a young man called The Real Stick Man. I think he's a young man called The Real Stick Man. No, that is
I was
actually,
going to say,
of
I
course,
was like, isn't that
Troy Lee Designs athlete manager,
guest on the podcast
guest on the podcast
a while
himself.
ago? Yeah.
Is print dead?
Oh man.
Well, of course, Stickman comes in with a good question, doesn't he? It's a good question. It's 3 words long. That's how you know the dude knows what's up, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's
Straight to it.
Yeah, there's no fat on that question.
There's
That's
not.
just straight
He's trimmed
to
it all off. Keto question.
A keto question. Is print dead? I don't. Do you know? I thought it's such a shame when you see these like cool little ones shutting down, like Sender Mag, for instance, which we've got in front of us on my coffee table here. Yeah, it sucks because I think print's not dead, but then clearly these things struggle to stay alive. I don't know what that is. I don't know a way around that. No. Are we spending loads of money on? What are we spending money on? Because a lot of these like Facebook things, Facebook ads and Instagram ads that you're probably increasingly seeing riders doing and brands doing, I don't know if they really have the same impact.
No.
I just think the way that everything's just so disposable online that I think it's quite difficult to make an impact.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. It's really weird where we're in a world where you can literally just move your middle index finger up and scroll past some of the most insane content and not even give it 2 seconds of your time. Yeah. And it's weird. It is weird. Like, if you look down on this, like you've got people riding in the desert, that's weird. And then you've got like people staring at phones and scrolling through and taking like nothing in, and it's just like you said before, man, it's just diarrhea, a lot of it. But there's some amazing content mixed in there, and it just gets sort of, what's the word, sort of like just jumbled into it all.
Devalued it.
Yes.
Dude, okay,
devalued it. Good point.
Okay, here's a great analogy. I'm good at these. So when you were younger, did you have like a porn mag stash or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Younger?
Dude, exactly. No, but exactly, right? So you had this stash and you might have like 2 or 3 images. I actually didn't, but my friend did, and I used to go around his house and I'd always be like, dude, can we go? So he had like 2 pages out of like a jazz mag.
Someone sold
like
at school.
Playboy or something, yeah. And he had them buried under a tree in a plastic bag. And we must have been, I don't know, we must have been like 10 or something, you know? Yeah. And think how much you valued that one page.
That was the Bible.
Compared to your internet browsing nowadays.
That is so true.
You know what I mean? Think how much you valued that one page.
Dude, that is so true.
So like, really, for advertisers now, you can't really go straight from that to being serious again. You can't talk about wanking and then and then talk about marketing budgets. But it is kind of it. It is like, I don't want to screw myself over because my kind of a lot of my worth is based on content that I might create for these platforms. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the picture itself it's always moving. Whereas before it was more like, it was like a slower frame rate. So the frame rate's higher. We're just having to put out stuff the whole time. And unfortunately, we're putting out stuff of a lower quality the whole time. And hopefully that'll pick up.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I think that's you've pretty much summed it up good there, mate.
An optimistic view on Stick's kind of slightly dark and looming question.
He's probably really curious himself. He might be doing marketing budgets for Troy Lee next year.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. He's probably just signing some stuff off.
I guess before we wrap up, man, like, what else is going on with you? Like, what's coming up? You know, has your year been good so far? We've got a couple of months left, I guess. So
Year's been great. I don't really have an off season because I'm a so-called media rider. Unfortunately, you don't have that time of year where you have a couple of months where you can do absolutely nothing. You kind of have to remain vocal. So I'm going to Colombia for this street race that I previously mentioned.
Yep.
And I think I've got another trip planned shortly after. I'm then doing. I've got quite a lot of exciting stuff coming up, but I don't want to blow the top off it.
Fair enough.
How's
How's your girlfriend with all this stuff?
Sorry.
How's your girlfriend with all this stuff? Like, always been away and.
Yeah, it actually does suck a bit. The older I get, the more I like being at home. My ideal is just doing week-long trips. 10 days is where it gets rubbish. Right. I like doing week-long trips, having plenty of time between them, and then that way you get to see. Because ultimately, this is what I've always wanted. I've always wanted to see all over the world and ride my bike as much as possible. So I'm ticking both of those boxes, and as long as I tick those boxes, I'm good. As long as it doesn't make other people sad.
Right.
And that's what I struggle with. Yeah. Like, not just girlfriend. Like, I don't get to see my family as much, and I don't get to see my friends as much. And I've got different friendship groups, like my cross-country friendship group, my road friendship group, my dirt jump friendship group. Yeah. So it's keeping everyone. I want to see everyone and have a normal life as well. So I don't want to go away the whole time. Really. Fair. We got Brendog's stag do early next year. That's going to be a real big one. Yeah, we're going to Thailand because he's always wanted to know what a lady. But actually, no, I can't talk about that on this, can I? Because he's always wanted to know what it's like to have a Thai green curry in Thailand.
Don't we all? Don't we all, mate? We all want to.
We've all wondered. I think that's it before we carry on too far.
Rad. Cool. Should we wrap up?
Let's wrap up. Thank you ever so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Mate, I'm so stoked with it. Like, what I want to say really quick is that I love how open you are doing stuff like this. There's never like a no. You're always like, yeah.
No, yes
do
man,
it.
You're saying.
You're already
yes man. I'm easy.
Do you ever say no to stuff? You must say no to stuff.
Don't, because now the people that have had a no are going to feel really bad now.
I listened to a podcast this morning about saying no.
Did you?
So I was curious. I was thinking about you. I was like, I wonder if you ever say no to
just say no?
Yeah, it's just like
what sort of podcast was this?
It was about... it was about like letting people down and not being like too busy. So it's kind of cool. There we go. All right, man.
Excellent. Nice one. Thanks, brother.
Where can people find you? High five.
Find me on all the Instagram channels at odumber_23. You can see me on there. You can see me on the Twitter on the same address, and Olly Wilkins on Facebook. Thank you very much. I'll see you there. I'll see you on another time.
Boom.
Peace.
Wrap. And there you have it, guys. Episode number 60 is in the bag. Just how I enjoy doing a podcast personally. Sitting around, drinking a few beers with a friend and chatting some shit. If you have enjoyed this episode, please head over to iTunes, leave a review. It goes a long way if you can share it, tell your friends, whatever you can do. Reach out to Ollie. Anything, just whatever you think you can do to help this podcast grow is much appreciated and doesn't go unnoticed as well. Also, don't forget, if you do leave a review, you're in the prize draw to win some sacks and 35 bikes goodies, so win-win. Don't forget, you can also follow us at The Hook It Podcast on social media, so Facebook and Instagram. We have a mailing list. You can join that. There's a link in the show description, and we also have a closed Facebook group just for listeners. It's full of cool people chatting away and organising rides and all sorts of stuff. There's a link for that in the show description as well. And that's pretty much it, guys. Episode 60. Happy birthday to us. I'm about to blow out the candles and we're going to play the rest of Zeb's Mother Stickers out because it's a rad tune and everyone should listen to it to improve the rest of the day. That's it. Blow the candles out.
I'm gonna gonna kill ya tonight. The sweat on his forehead form. You gonna live so regret ever setting foot in this young place. Now you're rapping and tell all around us oh face. I'm gonna kill ya tonight.